Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this was likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up the Bills! It's not house band! It's not house band! Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Homie, now listen. Everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we tripping. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping. We on a mission. Got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, getting the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo.
And good evening. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am your co-host here, Beyond716, and is here always joined by the one, the only Whittle 2K on this Wednesday night. You all know what time it is. 8 days before the NFL draft, folks. We are getting close. Just a reminder, give us a follow at Do Champions. And also for Do Champions, go there. We're having a great contest before the draft. We're giving away an authentic signed Christian Benford jersey during our live draft night show on Thursday, April 24th. You just need to follow Do Champions on X and then follow Do Champions on YouTube. And also give us a follow on Coast to Coast as well. Whittle, sometimes we don't need an introduction. We're 8 days away, right? So how we feeling? Are you ready?
I'm feeling great, man. A lot's going on right now. The Bills have been extremely active in the draft process. I mean, I don't know why, but I feel like there's been more activity this year than there has been in recent years with the 30 visits and things like that. And maybe this is not different. Maybe this is on par with what they usually do, but it's just being reported a little more. Or maybe we care more because we were close. And, we understand that there's only, a couple of holes that this team has, and we can, we can solidify those things and get busy. I don't know. But it just feels like, we're extremely close. It feels like if we add a couple more things, we can get there. And I believe if we get there, Josh gets it done. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And, Whittle, sometimes in these drafts, timing is everything, right? And what I mean is, if you're a fan that needs a quarterback, this year it could be good. I mean, Sanders could be good as an example, right? Cam Ward. But there's none of those. There's not those. It's not the year we drafted Allen, where you had 3 or 4 almost slam dunks that you knew that they were going to be phenomenal quarterbacks, right? This year, there's still a little bit more of question marks, right? But the positions that we need and the absolute glaring needs that we need to fill, I feel like there's a lot available in this draft for the Bills to pick from, and the options are there. And it's just going to be about if are the guys going to fall where they are? Are they going to have to move up or move down, or both? So that I think that's the beauty when you have so much in place like the Bills do, and like this is the kind of year, like you've mentioned many times on this podcast, how deep the defensive tackle position is this year. Well, we need that, especially at one tech. It's a great year for it, right? So there's certain positions where it's just good timing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like, I don't want to say it's the first time that we've been in position to grab a impact. I would say a player for an impact position. We were in a position, before we took Dalton Kincaid, and instead of taking Brian Branch, we took the tight end to try to run more 12 personnel. I feel like I felt like we needed a running back and a wide receiver the year that we drafted Kyer Elam. And I don't want anybody to, I know people are going to be like, oh, now they're dumping on Kyer because he's not there. No, like we dumped on this pick from, well, at least I did. I didn't like the pick in the beginning. But
I remember that.
No, it is what it is. You try to make, if you get lemons, you try to make lemonade, and unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for him while he was with us. So, it is what it is, and we move forward. But 8 days away, man. 8 days away, and we have 10 picks and 7 picks on day 3, which is like kind of crazy.
That really
3
is.
picks in the first 2 days and then 7.
And 2 seconds too to boot. So it's not just picks 1, 2, and 3. So it's sort of top heavy-ish, and then there's that middle part. Third round's going to be potentially boring for us Bills fans, but we'll see what if Brandon Beane's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, of course he does. I mean, he does it every year. But we have a lot of.
Why do I say
we have a lot of flexibility?
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of flexibility to move around. So I'm hopeful that that's what we end up doing, and yeah, well, I think we'll be fine, man. I think we'll be fine. I think Bean understands the assignment. He knows what he needs to do. He knows who he needs to go after. What positions have to be filled. So let's hope it gets done, man. Let's just hope it gets done. But for those who don't know, Brian, can you let the folks know what day the draft is and what time?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So next week, Thursday, April 24th, round 1 will kick off at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And yes, I'm on the same coast as you now, so I get this now. So Friday, April 25th, rounds 2 through 3 will start at 7 o'clock Eastern. And then Saturday, April 26th, rounds 4 and 7 kick off at noon Eastern time. So if the Bills do stay at 30, Whittle, I would anticipate the Bills are going to be picking sometime around 10:30, give or take, maybe 11 o'clock. But if I had to handicap it, I think it may be a little bit earlier. Just my gut tells me that I could see the Bills moving up a little bit. How far and with who? That's the question. And for who is the question. But this draft screams move up for me, Whittle. Just, again, depending, based on our needs, based on the amount of picks. You can't take 10 rookie picks every year, especially with the depth we have. We're just not going to be able to keep these guys. It's not good asset allocation. To me, if you have a chance to move up and Bean has the opportunity, I think he's going to pounce on it.
Yeah. So, and with that being said, every year the Bills draft somebody who they had a top 30 visit with. Every single year under Brandon Beane, he's taking a top 30 player at some point in the draft. So, with that being said, today, the Bills hosted on a top 30 visit cornerback from Ole Miss, Trey Amos. So I'm excited about that. Obviously,
I see the smile already.
Yeah, man. If you've been watching, if you've been watching or you've been paying attention to the draft content, like we've been high on Amos since since the process started. Again, I'm going to stand by it. Uh, I don't see why you can't look at Amos and say he's the best corner in this draft. Um, I do think he's one of the high ceiling corners, where you kind, I mean, not high ceiling, like high floor corners, where you just kind of know what you're gonna get from from a guy like that. On a game to game basis. I am excited. If I lived in Buffalo, I probably would have. I probably would have went to the airport, man. I'm excited, bro. I really think him and Benford together could really, really unlock um, another level for this defense, man. I just think he's really, really good. He's not the only guy either. There are other corners. I think Benjamin Morrison, if he never has that hip injury, I think he's the number one corner in this draft right now. If he doesn't have the hip injury, so there are a few guys that I would be over the moon ecstatic with. Like if the Bills were to get Benjamin Morrison and all his medicals check out, he works out, he does all of that. I would be ecstatic. Uh,
Yep.
but if they don't, if they don't get him, if they don't get Benjamin Morrison, if the medicals don't check out and they get a Siobhan Ravel or they get, Trey Amos or, because there's a few other guys that I like a lot. I'm fine with that, man. I'm fine. Like, just get somebody and not, I unfortunately something that I keep hearing from Bills fans is we don't need to take a corner early because Brandon Bean, I mean not Brandon Bean, Sean McDermott, this staff does a great job with defensive backs. They get the most out of them, and I'm like, yeah, I mean they're getting the most out of guys that probably shouldn't be in the league, So if you're getting a seventh round pick to a second contract, um, you know, for more than the vet minimum, I mean, it's like they've done a great job. Like, Levi Wallace undrafted, comes to Buffalo, starts with us for 4 years, gets a contract. I thought we brought him back like a year after that or whatever. We brought him back for like one more year. And then he went to Pittsburgh, got $8 million a year to play over there. So, and then same thing with Dane Jackson. Dane Jackson comes in the seventh round. We draft him out of Pittsburgh, plays a couple seasons as a starter. He was, a backup guy for many years for Levi Wallace, and he finally beat him out. And Cook, goes off to Carolina, gets a bag from Carolina to play, and 1 year later he's back. Welcome back, Dane Jackson. So I just think, if Bean is able to get all of that out of guys that are not really that talented, imagine if you gave him a really talented guy as a rookie and let him work on that guy. So, I mean, it's almost like a cook. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want spaghetti, and I go to the 99-cent store and get noodles and sauce and I don't know if you can get. I don't think you can get meat from the 99-cent store, but
not these days.
Cheap, right?
Or if it's
cheap,
I would want to eat that meat for the 99-cent store.
But if I go cheap with the ingredients, bro, I mean, the meal's going to be what it is. But if I go to Whole Foods, and I spend, if I go to Whole Foods and I spend, $67 on 4 items, that meal's going to be great, because the ingredients are better. So I feel like if we gave Sean, if we gave Sean McDermott a better canvas to start working with, imagine the painting that we get for that defense, man. So I just want a nice talent upgrade, man. No more bargain men free agents. No more band-aids. Let's just get some permanent fixes on rookie contracts But we'll sort out the money later, man. We'll sort out the money in a few years and figure it out. But
Yep. And the
definitely
thing with
excited to see him there.
yeah, the thing with Amos is, well, I feel like day one he could be an excellent contributor on this team, right? We're not in a position right now. Certain organizations can be, maybe they could take more risks, right? Maybe, like you said, certain players coming off injury that could be boom. I wouldn't want to call them boom or bust guys, but they could be big booms. So maybe that takes a couple of years. We are right in the middle of the Josh Allen Super Bowl run era. I mean, Super Bowl window, right? That window is wide open. I
Yeah.
don't want to mess around too much with higher picks. We need legit playmakers. We could come out of this with 2 or 3 difference makers on defense in this draft. I'm good. And then we could still take a guy in the 6th round. Maybe they do take some corner that we're not even thinking about in this draft, like we did with Christian Benford a couple of years ago, right? 4 years ago, and look what Christian Benford's turned into a superstar, right? But we can't afford to take that. We need legit playmakers. That was clear as day in the AFC title game this year. And it's been probably more clear as day against Kansas City in the playoffs than we really want to admit. And now it's time to address it.
It's just in, hot off the presses from Ryan Talbot.
Ooh, what we got?
Cornerback Darian Porter recently took a pre-draft visit with the Buffalo Bills. So now 7 of the top corners have met with the Buffalo Bills. That would be, I know they met with Will Johnson. They met with Jahdae Barron, Maxwell Harrison, Trey Amos. Was no Williams one of them as well? Let me see. Let me see if I can find the 30 visit. There it is. 30 visit track. All right. So Trey Amos, Benjamin Morrison, Siobhan Ravel, Dorian Strong, Maxwell Harrison. That's 5. I know they spoke with Will Johnson. That would be 6. Is this right? Wait, did they speak with Will Johnson or was it Jahdae Barron? Let me see.
It was Will Johnson. And Jance is right. We have brought in more corners in any position, including DY. I agree. And that shows you we're doing our due diligence at this position. I would be
I'm sorry. It wasn't.
shocked.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. So they did meet. Okay, so they met. These are the guys they met with at the combine. So it was Zy Alexander, Trey Amos, Jahdae Barron, Denzel Burke, Mello Dotson, and Will Johnson. Right? That's what they met with. Let's see. Do we have any private workouts? I think we looked at that already. Pro day visits. Zoom meeting. Robert Longerbeam, the nickel from Rutgers.
Okay.
Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Jersey.
Indeed. Let's go. It'll take a Rutgers
and
kid.
Then that's it. That's it. No, and the rest were 30 visits. Trey Amos, Benjamin Morrison, Siobhan Ravel, Dorian Strong, Maxwell Harrison, and I don't know if I don't think this is a 30 visit, Darian Porter, but they met with all the guys, man. I mean, now one guy who used to get mocked to the Bills a lot, I don't see on this list, is Azareye'h Thomas. Cornerback out of Florida State. And if anybody in the chat wants to guess why, I can give you my guess. My guess is they watched the film and they said, yeah, he's pretty sticky in coverage, can't tackle in space against the run, especially, and just not. I think they want a little bit more of a speed. I think they want a little more speed. I think he ran like a 4.5. He ran like a 4.58 or something like that. So
Yeah, it's
he
pretty.
had a pretty slow 40, but
Yeah, his stock has
it is
fallen
what it
for
is.
sure.
Yeah.
Could be worth a later
Speak,
pick for somebody, but I don't think we're in that position to take a chance on a guy like that right now.
yeah, I do think he still makes 18. I do think he still figures out. I think he still gets taken fairly early. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, exactly, Jared. I think he fits a team like San Fran, to be honest. Even
Mm.
though they don't really play man coverage like that, but I think they have the pass rush and the scheme to
Hmm.
kind of mask some of his issues. Maybe he ends up with yeah, I feel like you're
That's
right.
true too.
Too much speed, man. You gotta play you have to play zone and get home with four. And that's just where we are now.
Hmm.
So Thomas is gonna get drafted. Like I'm not worried about that. But speaking of not running the 40, um, any concerns with Will Johnson doing a lot during his private workout except for running the 40?
Does make you wonder why, right?
I know. We know why. I just think that the 40 was going to hurt him. I know he's probably a mid 4 or 5 guy, and
Mhm.
what's the point? The only thing you're gonna do is hurt your draft stock. I've seen updated cornerback rankings from a couple of reputable people, and they have him ranked behind Johnny Barron now on the list of corners. So Will Johnson might find himself falling out of the top 15. No, I still don't think he should. I don't know if he will. I think he's worth a high pick, but not running that 40 like that 40 times. It's not everything, but it does mean something. I think, especially at corner, that's something you probably want to do. You know. Oh well. What else we got?
Well, we did
Uh, go ahead.
got the medicals on Morrison and Revel.
Yeah, we don't. I've been looking, and I don't really have anything.
Hmm.
Let me see, because that stuff was supposed to come out.
I'm trying to look as well to see if there's anything.
What I will say, what I will bring up though is Chavon Ravel's doctor wrote a note. This was a while ago though, saying he was ready to go. He was fine. He'd be
Hmm.
good to go, no problem. So we'll see. Oh, he had a pre-draft visit with the Bills too. Okay, I think I brought him up. Didn't I bring him up? Yeah, I
I
brought
did.
him up.
Yes, yes, yes. That is correct.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I don't want him to go to the. They're talking about the news. I mean, these stories are talking about him going to the Ravens. Yeah,
Hmm.
right. You can't have that.
Yep.
Benjamin Morrison, private workout.
Hmm. Yeah, Steve brings up a good point here. This is going to be an intriguing draft in terms of unpredictability, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Especially maybe after the first, like you said, maybe 5, 6 picks. I think it could get pretty interesting and vary quite a bit more than we even imagine. I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of trades if that's the case. I mean, but I would say middle of the rounds we're going to start seeing some movement, especially in deals.
Okay. Private workout for Benjamin Morrison
Hmm.
is April 21st.
Okay.
So that's in 5 days. And the
Oh,
draft is,
24th.
what was that, 4 days?
Yep.
That 3 days
3
later?
days.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Well.
You better listen. He's got a chance. He's got a chance to
Hmm.
make himself a first round pick. If he goes out there and he's
Hmm.
like healthy, he's a first round pick, bro.
Well,
He's a first round pick if he goes out there healthy. Like it's
hmm.
not even up for discussion. He's
Yep.
definitely a first round pick. Um, Another player who's also um, might find himself his draft stock on the move a little bit. Isaiah Bond,
Yeah.
wide receiver out of Texas, is currently under investigation for sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, You know, I like the player. I don't want anything to do with him. Don't draft him. We don't
Yep.
need the drama, man.
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah. Listen. The other thing we got to remember too. I mean, he has sued a defamation suit against the accuser, right? So, I mean, the one thing we remember, we went through this with Matt Ariza,
Matt
right?
Ariza, yeah,
Where
yeah.
Ariza, sorry, where it, yeah, the court of public opinion had him basically canceled. And I understand why. It was a very sensitive subject. You and I talked about it at great length, but we all know
Yeah.
as it went on, turns out, the whole thing was fabricated. So, but I kind of agree with you. I feel like the Bills at this point would rather not have that kind of, especially when there's excellent other options available. So, so I would say pass at this point. I think there's plenty of other excellent options that for what we need to address. I'd move on.
Okay. Um, let's say we'll go back to the corners. James Bradbury was brought in by the Buffalo Bills to
Mm-hmm.
just they had a meeting with James Bradbury. I don't want him on the team to play.
Agree.
I think if they bring him in a role similar to what Micah Hyde was last year for Cole Bishop, I think it makes a lot of sense. You bring him in, you allow him to be a mentor to the young corners that you have and that you draft. And you hope that his influence helps them kind of grow into better pros a lot faster. Uh, he was a Carolina Panther, so you know how that goes. Anybody that ever played for the Carolina Panthers under Sean McDermott, while Sean McDermott or Brandon Beane was there, they have a shot at making the Buffalo Bills roster at some point in their career.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, yeah,
Could be
if
like
that's the case,
a Josh Norman. Remember when we signed Josh Norman? Sort of something
yeah, we
like
did
that
bring
too.
Josh Norman in last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't work for Kyrie Elam, so
No. No. Not sure if anything would have worked for Kyrie
uh,
Elam in Buffalo. I'll say so.
yeah, I
Just
hope he
not.
does well.
Me too. I agree. Sometimes it's just a scheme fit. Sometimes it's just it could be everything, right? Maybe the change to
Yeah.
Dallas will do them good. So I think it was a good move for Dallas. I think it was worth the roll of the dice for what they paid.
Yeah, my son runs track, and he had a track meet today, and went up to he needed some compression shorts. Of course, he
Mhm.
told me at the very last minute, right? So I drop him off to take
Of
the ride
course.
over, the ride
Yeah.
over with the team. Run the
Mhm.
Dick's Sporting Goods because he needs compression shorts. I go pick him up. I
Mhm.
drive up to the school where his where the track meet was, or the
Yeah.
where the track where his thing was, and I get there. I'm trying to find him on the field. There's like kids everywhere, whatever. So
Mhm.
as I'm walking through the bleachers, this guy sees my shirt, and well, not this shirt, but the shirt I was wearing earlier. He says, it was a Bills shirt. He's like, "Go Bills!" I just looked at him. I was like, "Hey, go Bills, man!" So we're everywhere, guys. All right,
We really are.
we're everywhere. Don't you forget it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, where we at now?
So now, I would agree with you on Bradbury. I was talking to one of my best friends, big Eagle fan like us with the Bills, and he said it's a hard pass. He would just has lost too much speed. Doesn't think he'd be a really good fit for what the Bills need as a reliable option at this point. But like you said, could he be a good mentor? Sure. Is he a good insurance policy? Yeah. But if we're counting on him to be corner number 2, then we got bigger problems than we realize at that position. So, having said that, Whittle, the Bills fans here are going to pay the bills as we do. So, we are just going to take just a quick break, and we will be back for part 2 of Coast to Coast.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliott Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
And welcome back to part 2 of episode 84. We're breaking down draft prospects and the countdown to the NFL draft, which is 8 days away. Whittle, welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yep. I know that
Lot-
song.
Some of the audience might be too young for that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we're not, Whittle. Well, especially me.
No. yeah, no,
Yep.
we're not. Actually, I don't even. What show was that from?
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. What was that? Oh, welcome. Oh, what was that?
Wow.
It's like a 70s, 80s song.
Yeah,
Anyone in the chat? Oh, what was
maybe
that?
we're too old to remember.
Oh, it's was that what? Welcome back, Cotter. Whittle. That was the show. Welcome back,
that
Cotter.
does sound.
Yep. Steve
There you
got
go.
it. Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
Steve's
That's up to Chris.
old too.
Yep.
Chris is old.
Yep,
Yeah,
Chris,
you guys are old.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
Yeah,
We
we're all
we
old.
just
Yep, there we go. Thanks.
Steve is old. Chris is old. Confirmed. Welcome to the club.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So, anyways, so now we pivot to part 2. So, draft strategies.
Yes. Now I'm gonna deviate a little bit from that, and I want to talk about a couple of players.
Mhm.
And this is a position. It's not really of need, but it is a position that that I think that we if possible we could address. I want to talk a little bit about some safeties. Now,
Mhm.
like last week, I gave you my top 5
Mhm.
based on who I think the Bills could get and should be looking at, and when they should be looking at, based on who will be available at the point of the draft that I think the Bills should be looking at this position. So
Okay.
the position group is safety. I am going to eliminate the top 3 guys, right? So the top 3 guys is obviously Malachi Starks, Nick Emanwari, and the third guy is Xavier Watts. I do believe Xavier Watts is a guy that me personally, and we'll talk about this in the next segment as well, but me personally, I would take Xavier Watts in the second round if he's available, because I think he's worth it. I think he's a great fit for what this team needs and how this team wants to play. And yeah, I just think he's a really talented ball. So yes, Watts, mid second round pick, exactly. I would 100% try to, especially if we don't have to really like trade up to get, our first pick, and we can kind of be a little more aggressive in the second round. I'm with all of that. Like, yeah, let's do it. Let's 100%. Let's try to, be as aggressive as we can, and move up. But
Mhm.
A couple
I
of
agree with
guys
that.
that I wanted to bring. So these are my top 5. I'm going to give them to you in order of where they are as far as like in order of importance to me. Number
Okay.
1, outside of those top 3 guys,
Mhm.
my number 1 safety is Jonas Sanker. Um, really? Fourth best? What? Oh man, we got to discuss this. We got to discuss that. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, let's set the Zoom up for that, man.
Yeah,
We may have to. Let's
let's
just
make
let.
it.
We got to discuss
I
that.
went into that Zoom.
I don't see it, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I think it is. I think it's this past year. Starks did not have a. This was not Starks' best year. This past season, this was not his best year. However, Starks gives me Brian Branch vibes. Like I think he's that type of player, and Branch is an absolute stud as a free safety. He's very versatile. You can move him around. I think Watts is the same guy. I think he's exactly what the Bills need at the
Yeah.
safety position. All right, so but I don't want to get too um off the beaten path. Me and Matt may argue or fight about that on a video, or we may record some of that. And yeah, he definitely played the same role that Brett did. Yes, yes. Um, but I saw Jonas Sanker, right? So, oh, what the hell? What the he's all right, there we go. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
I was trying to type, man. It was just
It has a
yeah.
mind of its own.
So yeah, first guy I want to talk about is Jonas Sanker. Okay. Safety out of Virginia. Um, he's a senior, excellent in zone coverage, excellent in run support, very smart, leader, all those different things. Um, not the most stellar athlete, I don't think. But honestly, I think the kid's good. Like I think he's really, really solid when it comes to being interchangeable. Um, oh, that's high praise, man. Hold on. Steve Noble just said Watts gives me
Mhm.
Jerry's Bird vibes.
Ooh.
Hey, listen, we Micah was close to what Jarris was, but what do you have 1 year? Like 8 interceptions 1 year, 8, like something like
Mhm.
that.
I believe.
Oh, yeah. Let's put that out there, man. Jeez,
That's what I said right there. There's my 3.
yeah.
There's my big 3, Little. If you want to get aggressive, little move up in the draft, right? Imagine that
Okay.
combination. Walk it out with Trey Amos, Xavier Watts, and Collins from Texas, defensive tackle. I mean, you want to talk about building a defense for the future with the other guys now that we have locked up now, Ed and Benford and just this defense would just cook. I absolutely think this is the year to do this right now with the draft capital that we have, the
Right.
less needs that we have. This is the year to get aggressive, Brandon Bean. So
All right, so I'm looking at Jonas Sanker's RAS score, and listen, hey guys, I was wrong. All right, he's an excellent athlete, excellent athlete. All right, 9.5 on the RAS. He ran a 4.48, which is really good. 10-yard split's kind of weak though.
mhm.
It was it was a 1.57. Uh, really good explosion grade. Vertical 36.5. Well, not crazy. But a 10.8 on the broad jump, which is pretty good. 6 feet tall, 6 feet and 3/10, and 206 pounds. So he's pretty solidly built dude.
Mhm.
Why not? I mean, I understand that we don't need it, but I hope that um he's one of those guys that I hope is there when we like. I hope he's just like there when our pick is coming, and you have Makuba ahead of Starks.
Whoa.
Wow, wow,
Let's put that on the screen here. Matt's rankings for safeties.
wow.
Watts ahead of Eamon Warrior. Wow. It's high praise. I mean, I love Watts, but man, Nick is a beast.
Yeah.
But that's
All right, Matt.
that's a hot
We're
take
gonna
right
have
there,
to.
Matt.
Yeah, Matt. We're gonna have to fight about this later, bro. That is.
You got Whittle going now,
I
Matt.
don't know, man. I don't know. I listen. Watts this year was Watts the last 2 years. Yeah, Watts for sure. Even Warriors like but I see him. I don't see a problem with even Warrior too, but Watts on like. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think your top three. I think the top three obviously my top three. I got Starks one, Eamon Worry. I got Starks one, Watts two, Eamon Worry three. I'm like
Wow.
struggling with Eamon Worry at three because of how great of an athlete he is, and I think
Yes.
um, you put a monster like that under Sean McDermott, and my
Oh,
God, what could what could be done? Um, I think
yeah.
he could be. He doesn't have the instincts of Kyle Hamilton, but that'd be nice, man. If you had him on the team, you could. Jesus, bro, like
Yeah.
you really could do some things. All right, so Jonas Sanker, versatile safety. He can play single high. He can play, either side of it. You can play either position in a two high. You can bring him down to the box. He's an excellent tackler, physical, obviously big dude. Um, I just think that he's solid. Like he's a really, really solid player, and you get him under McDermott paired with Bishop, and you may have your safety pair for the next 4 years or whatever. And those guys, that could be your Poyer High replacement grouping. We don't know
Mhm.
until we see it, but yeah, I think he's a stud. I think he's a guy that we could bring in and really. Ooh, I'm not gonna repeat that. I'm just gonna say pause, and yeah,
No, but it's true. It's true though. I get what the point though.
yeah. I mean, I get it, but like that's kind
Yeah,
of pause worthy.
it's pause worthy. Yeah,
Um,
but it's
that's a little pause worthy. Wow.
it's pause worthy.
Let's take that off. Let's take that off the screen, man. I feel some type of way right now. Steve, we gotta relax here, buddy. All right, we're getting a little too excited here. All
Yeah,
right,
we'll have
I'm
to rate
joking,
the
Steve. I'm
show.
joking.
Yeah.
All right, my next corner is Andrew Makuba, safety out of Texas by way of Georgia. He was at Georgia the year before, transferred over to
Mhm.
Texas. Was it Georgia or was it Clemson?
Oh, let's see.
I think it was Clemson. No, I think it was
It
Clemson.
was
I think he
Clemson.
was at
Yes, it
Clemson.
was Clemson.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I thought he was coming out last year. I wanted the Bills to draft him last year. He's small. 5'10", 5'10" and a half, something like that. Yeah,
Mm.
Clemson. 5'10" and a half. They weighed him in around 190. I know he doesn't play at 190. Like, come on, bro. He's slight, but extremely physical. He plays with a reckless abandon. Um, I think you love it. I think you like to see it. Not afraid to come down and tackle against the run, against tight ends, bigger guys. Doesn't matter. He throws his body around. That's great, but it also leads to injuries. I'm not a fan of that. So I like him though. I do like him a lot. I think he has great ball skills. Not only embarrassed, Steve, man, you good, bro. You good, man. We just having a little fun with it. It's all good.
Oh, that was great.
Um,
That was
yeah.
great.
Yeah, so Makuba, really good in space as far as like with coverage.
Hmm.
Arms are a little short. He, like I said, he's a little slight in frame, but he's a willing tackler. He's a hard hitter. He's a guy that will come down and hit you, and you will stop moving. Um, Good in coverage, smart. You know, have no problem with him. He's a heck of an athlete as well. He's got good speed. Good in man coverage, even against bigger tight ends and things like that. The guy can play. Just the little slight in frame. I worry a little bit about potential injury, so I leave that there. The next guy I have is Caleb Renshaw from Tulane. What do I like about him? Physical tackler. Another one of those guys that no matter what, you know what you're gonna like. He's coming from a small school. We've gotten a couple of guys out of Tulane. We drafted a quarterback from there once, I believe, and when he went to, I was it wasn't JP from Tulane, JP
JP
Logan.
Lossman, yes, he was.
Yeah. So we drafted, and Dorian Williams came from Tulane as well. There's a
Yes,
couple
he did.
guys like next year coming out from Tulane, and I think are going to be studs, but
Hmm.
we'll see. They got a running back. I think his name was like Makai something. I can't remember exactly, but
Hmm. Yep.
so yeah, Caleb Renshaw, Tulane. Where is his Raz? I don't know. They don't have it up here, but uh, one thing that attracts me, well, not attracts me, but one thing that makes Caleb stand out is that Caleb's more of a slot guy who I think can also play safety. Right now, who do we have in that position? It's Cam Lewis. I know most of Bills fans don't like Cam Lewis. I personally like Cam Lewis. I think Cam Lewis is a good player, especially for this
Hmm.
team. Um, Play special teams. He comes in when you need him. He can play corner. He can play the nickel. He'll play safety. No
Hmm.
problem. He's physical. He just really can't cover. He's not really good in coverage. We understand that, and we respect and love. Cam Lewis anyway because he's a UB product. But
Hmm.
in all seriousness, I like
Oh,
him. I
what
understand a
do I,
lot of Bills fans don't. Yeah.
what do I do? I do have his RAS score.
Okay.
9.96 out of a possible 10. Ranked
And
10 out of,
that's at corner or at safety.
yes, Caleb Ransaw is a cornerback prospect in the 2025 class. Ranked number
Yeah.
10 out of 2,480 corners from 87 to 2025. Times are unofficial. This is as per Ken Lee Platt.
Yeah,
So
I'm
just
sure it's
kind of did
40
some
times.
research on that.
What is it 40? A 4.37, 4.36, something like that?
I believe so. Let's see. 4.3. Well, unofficial. Let me see. 40-yard 4.33 is what I was showing here on the res
For
graphic
what?
here. 4.33.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, this guy had a monster performance. I'm gonna
Yeah,
send
he
it to
did.
you
Okay.
just so you have it. Make sure I'm looking at the
Um,
right information.
I'm sure you are. I'm not even gonna question it. Like
No, I just
so
make sure it's not. I'm not sure if it's official or if that was 100% official, but it's just what I could find so far on that.
yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah. I like Caleb a lot.
Hmm.
I knew he was fast. I didn't know he was that fast. That's different. But this is what Buffalo needs. They need speed. They need to get more athletic. They need to get faster, younger. This is a guy that can come in. He can be I think he can be a guy that plays. He gives you, he gives you reps on defense. You can throw him in as a dime in dime packages if you need to. I think he'd be a hellraiser as a blitzer off that from that dime position. I would love to see him in that role. Uh, Not the best in zone coverage. Okay. Not the best in zone coverage. That's something that he can work on. Um, Willing tackler, and he is fast. He is definitely fast. I wouldn't mind the Bills taking a shot on him as well.
Mm-hmm.
The next guy is Elijah Clark from Syracuse. Now I have not had a chance to watch a lot of him. What I have watched, which was one game so far, was solid. Solid. I think he could make the team. I think he's probably on the same level of maybe a little bit better than DeMar Hamlin. Definitely a better athlete. But I think they're similar players. I don't think that Elijah Clark is. I think he's fine. I don't. I'm not totally enamored with him as a prospect. Um,
Little Camden, New Jersey kid went to Rutgers and then went to Syracuse. So
yeah. Yeah.
we'll take more Jersey kids on the Bills. So I'm good.
Why
with that.
not, man? I need somebody to take that drive up with me. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe his folks can meet me on the maybe his folks can meet me on 95, man. We'll shoot up there together.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. But yeah, Elijah Clark, let me pull up. Can you pull up his rash? So you can see.
I will see if I can get that for you. Yes.
I will pull up his GFF. Okay. Not a lot of ball production, man. Not a lot at all. But he's played all over the place according to PFF. Like if you look at his snap alignment, 259 snaps deep last year, about 150 in the box, 155 in the box, 154 at the slot. The year before, 2023, 266 snaps in the slot, 230 snaps in the box. I mean, he plays everywhere. So that's another thing that Bills like, that he's very versatile. Not the greatest tackler. You know, like I said, man.
6.99 on his res. I can't get all the specifics, but that's what I'm showing for Elijah right now.
Yeah. I think he's solid. I think honestly, I think he's a younger, a little more athletic, a little better in coverage, DeMar Hamlin, to be honest. A little more athletic, a little better in coverage, a little more versatile, but, a little better. He's a better version of DeMar Hamlin. And finally, I should have had this guy above Caleb and Elijah Clark. I should have had Craig Woodson in there. Craig Woodson's a safety out of California, University, Cal.
Cal. Yeah, right, Cal. Okay.
Yeah. Craig Woodson out of Cal. Oh, God, I did it again. Bro, what's going on? How does that keep happening? All right. We stop messing with this thing, man. Does anybody know? Actually, so Craig Woodson comes from NFL genes. Does anybody want to take a guess who his father is? Not you, Jarek. Anybody else in the chat?
Yep, I won't say anything, but I think I might know.
I think you probably know as well.
Anybody know who Craig Woodson's bloodline? Who?
Steve, this is exactly what I'm thinking. And yep. Oh, you already knew that, Matt. You already knew that. They put the question mark too. Like, come on, bro. We know you knew. Yeah. So that's Charles Woodson's son. Um, and yeah, Craig Woodson, not a cow. He is a safety
Mm-hmm.
prospect. Let me get his measurables.
I have his RAS
Craig
score is
Woodson.
8.82, so very solid.
Yeah, it is. Bro, he's tough, man. Oh wow. Yeah, they like him. The PFF likes him too. Okay,
Yeah.
so what did they say? They said Woodson's speed and aggression are his calling cards as he chases ball carriers down the line of scrimmage, set career highs. Yeah, six pass breakups. It's pretty good. He's tough to trust it, man. To man situations that could carve out. Oh yeah, no. Yeah. So yes, Charles Woodson is his dad. So PFF says that this guy's like a see ball, get ball type of guy. I think he's more than that. I, I think he's a guy that flies all over the field. I think that this is the type of player that you pick up on day 3.
Mm-hmm.
You stash him on a practice squad, or you stash him on the team. And maybe you put DeMar on a practice squad or whatever. But this is a guy you keep, and you use this year, his rookie year, to work on the getting him to understand and learn the defense and get comfortable with playing within the scheme within the defensive scheme. And then that's a guy you cut loose in a year or two along with Bishop. And you have a young safety pair that's not only smart but athletic and fast. And that's something that we've been missing back there. Micah Hyde's always been like the center fielder, but the guy that chased down the balls. But a guy like a guy that would chase down, Aaron Patches. But a guy like Poyer really won more off of instincts and just kind of understanding where he needed to be and making plays. Poyer mastered that peanut punch, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
That peanut punch, he mastered it. And now you see guys like Benford and Taron Johnson really use that thing. Even Bernard in the playoff game against the Ravens. Pass to Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews trying to get more yards, tries to run underneath and run by Terrell Bernard. What does Terrell Bernard do? Reaches out with that right hand, punches football out. We get the football, boom. We get the football, go down there, put points on the board. Game over, guys. Well, they actually went down and scored after that. Tried to go for a 2-point conversion. It didn't work. Andrews dropped it. But also, the pass was kind of terrible. So, it is what it is. He was wide open. It could have been a better ball. But, we ended up winning that game. So, those are my top 5 guys that I see after the initial wave of safeties go. I don't, there's other guys out there. Sebastian Castro, Kevin Winston Jr. There's other guys that are available. I just think that those guys kind of play where they kind of play. They're kind of similar to Cole Bishop, and we don't
Yeah.
need more. We drafted that guy in the second round. We're gonna get
Yeah,
when
like for
Denzel say I'm
example,
leaving here with something.
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
leaving
for
here with something.
example, Winston had that partially torn ACL last year. You don't know how that's
Right.
going to be. He's a big talent, though. I mean, he's going to be a very good pick for someone because he
Yeah.
was on a fast track to have a monster season last year when he tore his ACL against Bowling Green. So that
Mhm.
we'll see, what transpires with him from Penn State. But I would agree. I think there are better options, and I, I'm really on the Xavier Watts wagon after really doing more research and talking to a lot of all y'all. It just makes so much sense. If we of course address the corner as well, which I still think is the number one need on this team right now, above all.
Yeah. Listen, man. If Watts is not there, or if we don't have the opportunity, my next I like these other guys. The thing about Sanker and Makuba is there's no way you get that guy. There's no way you get one of those guys, and you can't hide him, right? With
Yeah.
Craig Woodson, you can draft him, you can stash him on the IR, and give him a year to get it. Give him a year to get it right, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Really work with him
So
for this
we
whole
have
year.
that luxury. We have that luxury right
You
now, Little, that very few teams
he,
have. So we could do that.
and he's a deep safety, which is what you want. He's a guy that plays in the deep third. He's a guy that plays the deep half. If
Hmm.
the Bills defense was at its best when they ran a lot of cover two, cover three. I mean, we still run cover three now, but we don't run
Hmm.
as much cover two as possible. Oh yeah, Watson Morrison together that would be
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, it'd be
That would
nice.
be crazy. Yeah, that would be nuts, man. But we got to get back to that. In order to do that, you gotta have athletic and position intelligent safeties back there. They have to be they are the last line of the defense. They have to be good because that allows your corners and your linebackers underneath to be more aggressive in these passing lanes. So um let's now discuss really quickly draft strategies. Bills really like Darian Porter.
Yep.
Do they?
Well,
They didn't bring him in
I
for a
mean,
top 30.
really, really like him according to. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's in the mix, but
All right, there's got to be something. Let me check the chat real quick because I think
so he was in for top 30.
oh wow.
I'm looking at your face right now, wondering what you think about this. You're visiting this pick at 30 right now. I think that's, and I'm trying to get an idea of what your reaction would be if now again,
Yeah,
this is assuming your other guys are off the board, right? Let's assume Amos goes earlier than we expect, right? Obviously,
he's
Barron,
not
someone like
though. He's not. Like I'm telling you, he's not.
probably not.
Like
Yeah.
there's four. Yeah, I'm. That's where I'm at, bro. I'm sorry. That's a great
Hmm.
pick if you got years. That's a great pick if you have a couple of years to develop them and you expect to see. Bro, I'm good, bro. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Listen. If that's what Buffalo takes, I'm not going to be upset because he did play well this year. Like he did play. He
Hmm.
he did play well. He is a bigger corner with speed. Not afraid to tackle. He loved, like you can tell, he loves the game and all that other good stuff. I mean, there's one play I think where he went from like one side of the field to the other and chased down a running back or something. You know, they love that type of stuff, man. Whatever. I'm sorry. If we get him, fine. I think there are like 4 or 5 other guys that can come in immediately and play, and play better. So
Now,
I could be wrong.
what if we got Amos and Porter, or is that just something you just don't see happening at this point?
I don't see it happening because where did the second guy play?
Yeah, a second round pick. I guess you're right. Like,
Man, Carlos, man, you know ball, bro. You know ball.
mhm,
We'll see Carlos's comment up here. Man,
mhm.
Amos and Williams from Ohio State. They don't let the draft and then let the rest of the draft flow. Listen, we get Amos and Tylee Williams. I'm turning the draft off. I don't need to see anything else.
That's it.
No,
Riddle's done. Yep.
bro, listen. We get them 2 guys. I don't need to see anything else. We're going to the Super Bowl and we're going to win it.
Yeah.
Just
Get
those
a
2
seat.
guys added to the current roster.
Break out your favorite drink or a cigar, whatever you like, and just kick back and
Right.
we're done.
When we get those 2 guys, um, oh, I agree
Yeah.
to that.
Oh, what did you sign? What kind of contract did
Wow.
you sign?
Set myself up for that one, didn't I?
Yeah, Whittle, you did. Okay. Well, I guess you can't, but that's okay. You could be at least you could be content and be cheerful, right? You don't have to. You could be in a good mood in that case. So
Hey, I'm not gonna. Who and what year was the last Notre Dame player drafted by the Bills?
let's
Wow.
put up that question. So trivia for you guys: Who and what year is the last Notre Dame player? Ooh, that feels like an old name. It's not. I'm thinking the old Bills players. Notre Dame. Just
I
a
was
Notre Dame
about to
player
throw
in
out a guess,
general.
but I was
What
about
you
to
got?
throw out a guess, but I no. I know it's not him because I know he went to Penn State, so never mind.
Who's that? Who
Wow,
did you
Notre
have?
Dame.
Jeez, I'm going back a ways.
Can
Is
you give us a
this
position group? Can we get a position group? While I
offense or
set this
defense? How about that? Can we get offense or defense? How about we do that? Can we just ask for offense or defense?
Yeah, that's what we should do, man. We should get like trivia questions from the listeners, and then put them out there, man, to give out
Yeah,
T-shirts.
thank you, Steve.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
start giving these T-shirts out. Tight end / long snapper.
Well, it's not Garrison Sanborn. He went to Florida State. Tight end, the long snapper. Oh boy, Notre
No, it
Dame.
ain't Ferguson.
No,
Is it Ferguson? No,
could
it's
it be
not Ferguson. Because Ferguson's a tight end and a long snapper. It can't be Ferguson. Is it Ferguson? I will have to look it. I'm gonna look it up.
Long snapper. Who is a long snapper and a tight end? I mean, Pete Metzelaars. I'm going way back now. I mean, is it that far back, Steve? I mean, we go. Oh my!
Dan O'Leary, 2001.
Wow! Look at that. You know what? See, we could have been on till next year's draft, and I still would have gotten that.
Yeah, not without the use of Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
Trivia. Thank you, Steve. That was excellent.
But all right, so let's get to draft strategies, right? And we've seen the Bills do all of these things at some point over Bean's tenure.
Mm-hmm.
Trade up, stand pat, or trade back. Under no circumstances should the Bills be trading back unless they've exhausted their ability to either trade up or stand pat and take a guy. I think with the 10 picks and the lead and the amount of the amount of picks that we have and the holes that we have on the team, like we don't have a ton of holes, but we do have a ton of picks. So we should be aggressive. And we should be aggressive and we should be moving up. What are you willing to give up in a trade for Williams, thinking he won't last to 56? Well, honestly, I actually think he will last till 56. Um, I have a good suspicion that 4 quarterbacks are going to be drafted in the first round, which will push other players, possibly defensive tackles, deeper into the second round. Uh, he was the son. His son was also drafted by the Bills as well, Nick O'Leary.
Dan O'Leary?
Yeah. Yeah, Steve, you stumped
Nick
us,
O'Leary.
bro. You stumped us, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Nick O'Leary. Nick O'Leary is also Jack Nicklaus's nephew, if I remember correctly. The golfer, if I remember that. Because I could be wrong, but that's what I seem to remember about him for some reason.
Wow.
But let's see. So do we think Williams is going to make it? You think he's going to make it to 56?
Yeah. I think he'll be, if not at 56, like he'll be in that range. Like he'll be in a range where it won't cost the Bills a lot, maybe a fifth or a fourth or a fifth to move up a couple spots and grab him. I'm good with that. You know, if we move up to 49 or 50 and take him, I can turn the rest of the day two draft off after that. I don't care what we do at that point. I don't
did a
care if we
mock, and
draft.
I have Tyreek going 39th to the Bears. So you think that's about right?
No,
where he goes?
Because I bet you don't have 4 quarterbacks going in the first round.
Yeah, I did have us taking Trey, but yeah, you're probably right. I have to look it over, but that could be very well the reason.
I'm sure it's not 4 quarterbacks. So the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of draft experts saying that they're bumping Jackson Dart up into a talent, a first round talent. They're bumping his evaluation up to a first round talent. And the NFL has extended an invite, which was accepted, to Jalen Milroe. I remember the NFL saying they do not want to have players sitting there because it's embarrassing, et cetera, et cetera. They're not going to do that to Jalen Milroe. They're bringing him in there because...
You know what player I always think of with that little is Brady Quinn. Remember Brady Quinn was in the room for a long time? Remember that Notre Dame prospect? He was in there forever with that face. Look at his face. Like, oh, man.
He needed to be in there. He needed to be in there.
He needed to be in there, is right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I don't know. Should I put this on the screen here?
God. So, yeah, and so I think the Bills may stand pat. Will Levis lost his girl to the Green? Did he?
Oh, what? Does he have too much mayonnaise going on or something?
Wait, no. Because I heard something about that, but I don't want to get into that right now. But that's something we definitely put that out in the chat, man. I need to hear the story behind that one.
Me too. I'm interested in that.
I do think Bean will try to not use draft capital to move in the first round because it's so expensive to move up in the first round. So I think he will try to stand pat as long as possible and pick at 30 and just take the guy that we want, which I hope to God is Trey Amos. So, however, I don't like the hedge here because I feel like there's a hedge from Bean where he's got all these corners in and he's saying, even if we don't get him, we can get him and we're good. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I would like him to take, Amos, and I would like him to do it at or as close to 30 as possible. The other situation is trading back. I think if you trade back, you try your best to get 2 picks in the second round. So if we trade back, make sure you get a third and a second. And you take that third, you take your fourth round picks, and you move back into the second. Amos, no matter what. I agree. 100%. Now, if we get to pick 30 and no corners have come off the board, I'm definitely taking a trade back into the early 30s, like 34, 35, 36, 30. Yeah, give me one of them.
You just hope
Because
Dart's
I feel
there.
like I'll
Maybe.
get my guy.
Yeah, you
Huh?
hope Dart's there. Maybe Dart or Milrow. Maybe a team wants to move up and get him
Yeah.
at that point to get that 5th year, right? And the Bills can cash in on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely, brother. So those are the draft strategies. I so I think there are positions that we have to fill in this draft. We cannot leave the draft without filling these certain positions.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, cornerback 2. Number one. There's no wiggle room around that. We have to get a quarterback 2. Number 2 is a backup 1 technique. Now, for those of you who didn't tune in when we went through this with Coach Trey, a 1 technique is a defensive tackle who lines up in the one in the so the 0 would line up directly over the center. The 1 is to the right of the center, I believe. I have to go look back and look at the numbers, but 1 technique lines up basically on the outside shoulder of the center.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice, Matt. That would be nice. The Giants moving back to the first with the Bills for Milrow or Dart. I would welcome that. I would
Yeah.
definitely welcome that because then I know we can get Amos early. Still have that flexibility, get that 3rd round pick from the Giants, and get that 3rd from the Giants. I would even give them back like a 5th or whatever, and then use that 3rd plus the 4s or the 3rd or 4 and the 5 or whatever, and move back up into the second, even if it's like another pick in the 50s. I'm with that. But having 4 picks in the second round would be awesome. But anyway, got to get CB2. Got to get a back. We got to get a succession plan for Daquan Jones in this draft. So that would be a big defensive tackle to pair next to Ed Oliver. Have to have that. After that, the next position we have to leave the draft with, and I don't even think it's a big need. It is a need though. Speed at wide receiver. Got to get a wide receiver with some speed. I'm sorry. That to me is more important than taking a defensive end. Go get a wide receiver that has some speed. We talked about a few guys last week. I really, really, really like Jalen Wayne. I like him a lot, man. I really like Isaac Tesla or Tesla, however you say it. I like him. I also like Will Shepard. Wouldn't even mind Dante Thornton if they brought him in and talked to him, but I don't think they haven't done that at all. Like they haven't talked to him anywhere. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't think I don't think that's a guy on their radar. But those are the positions. Like I really think that wide receiver, that speed wide receiver, you got to get. I think that unlocks and opens up the offense to a whole nother level. One more position I think now is definitely a need. running back. I would not mind them, taking a running back. I wouldn't mind it, but it's not a position that they have to take. Spend the rest of the show on Trey Amos. I don't need to watch any other prospects. um. Okay, but so let's go back. Cornerback, defensive tackle, speedy wide receiver. The next position they have to get a tight end 3. Somebody who can catch, but somebody who can block because Kincaid can't. So get a guy who can block, get a guy who's some sort of an athlete, and then if he can catch, if he can catch well, if he's a good catcher of the football, that'll be fine as well. Maybe I'll get into that. Maybe we can get into that next week. Do a deeper dive on these tight ends and see.
Absolutely.
Oh, that didn't come out right.
Is that a
A
pause?
deeper dive. I think it was a pause-worthy moment.
Okay.
A deeper dive on these tight ends.
Okay.
No, let's
Yeah.
we'll review some of the tight ends that are. We'll review some of the tight end prospects in this year's NFL draft. How about that? Right? That works
I
better.
think it's safe to say NFL draft talk brings out the pauses more in an NFL season than any other time. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because how many times have you heard that he's got great ball skills?
Yep.
Pause, guys.
Absolutely.
Pause,
They're bendy. Yeah, all these other things.
Yeah,
So,
where are we going with this? All right, yeah, it's late. It's late. You're on the East Coast now. Yeah, it's late.
I know. I've joined you. I'm not in the West Coast time anymore. Down in
Yeah, the way
Florida,
this space is going, man, James may need to pop in, right?
Oh, he's been on fire with his tweets lately, so we'll have to come up with his greatest hits. Oh, man.
The sandwich tweet today was too much. It was too much.
I was in tears reading it.
Let's tone him down. Like he's toned it down, which is better, but he's still out there, man. He's still out there.
He sure is. When you know, fellow audience. So when you know. But hey,
y'all gotta get a Twitter, man. Y'all gotta jump on X with us, man, and y'all will get acclimated to these inside jokes, man.
Definitely give Whittle2K a follow and myself, especially Whittle, because we do a lot of faces and stuff during the weeks. Well, of course, why not? What's wrong with that? Oh, because you're wrong 98% of the time. That's for some out there on Twitter. Is that still?
That's what they say. Listen, let me tell you something real quick, and it's not going to be a long rant. I'm just going to say this. Listen, if you have an issue with me wearing Bills colors while I'm doing a Bills podcast, you're an idiot. Okay? You're an idiot. I'm sorry.
What is that?
This is the team. You see the hat? And you see the background?
We're in Bills stuff.
Bro.
Right? This is what we're doing, right?
You're an idiot. Okay? Stop. Like, that's a level of hate you should not be at. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's start there. That's a level of hate you shouldn't be at.
100%.
What else? Okay, and the other thing is, you should not have an issue with the way we talk about the Bills. Like, I don't need to be at odds with the things. I don't need to only talk about the things that the Bills do wrong. The team won 13 games, and the quarterback sat out 11 quarters. So they're doing something right. They win the AFC Championship game with one of the worst defenses in the NFL on third down, and when it comes to defending the pass, like we were legit one of the worst. So I don't know. If you don't like that, then that's terrible. And also, it's difficult to say that this podcast doesn't give you the real, when it comes to the Buffalo Bills win. Honestly, like, not to toot our horn, but like, we be right a lot of times. Like, we really be right, and on top of that, we talk to people who are in the know. I'm not in the know, be honest, I didn't know, but
Yeah.
we definitely talk to people who are in the know when it comes to the bill. So we're not making our information up. We're getting this information from sources, from people
Yep.
who are tapped in. So, I mean, I don't know if you don't like that because you don't like us or me or whatever. And maybe like the red, white, and blue offends you. Um, I don't know what it is, but I just need you guys to get over it. And I listened to a draft podcast earlier today where the host said that he liked Jared Ivey, defensive end out of Ole Miss, because he can play the 3-tech as well as the 5 technique. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, cool, because that is why I like Jared Ivey. I don't think Jared Ivey's a great athlete. I think he's really strong, and he's a big guy, and I think that he can develop into more of a DeJuan Smoot type of role. So I'm like, yo, I'm feeling this. I go, okay, you have my attention now. I'm locked in, kind of almost not fully locked in. I'm kind of like I'm in there, but the door is unlocked, and I probably got my foot in it to keep it open just in case you say something crazy. Then he says, for those of you who don't know what a 5-tech or a 3-tech is, so the 3 technique is when you're rushing 3 defensive linemen, and a 5-tech is when you're in a run stopping set and you have 5 linemen. You have 5 defensive linemen on the field. And I immediately exited the video because that was completely wrong.
Yeah.
Went to the comments to check it out, and they were like, I think he had at the time probably like 60 comments or something like that.
Oh man,
47 of them were like, "Bro, a 3-tech and a 5 technique is definitely not what you say." So, there definitely are podcasts where the people who do it are 98% wrong. It's just not us. Like, sorry,
no,
we're not
definitely
100% right either, but
We
it's just
do.
not us.
Yeah,
It's not Cover One. It's not the two Kevins. It's definitely not.
Let's say hello to Kevin Massari. Hello, Kevin.
Yeah, it's not Chow. It's not the Shout podcast. It's not BF. Shout out to BF. Shout out to Cover One and all of it. Not to shout out to the Kevins. Shout out to Duke Kevin. Yo, we're not wrong. Like we wouldn't be wrong like that. Other podcasts come out and say real crazy stuff about like, the Bills should really consider trading up for Matthew Golden, or the Bills should take Carson Schwarzenegger at 30, or Greg Zabel at 30, who's an offensive tackle / guard / center, or Carson Schwarzenegger, who's a linebacker, or the Bills should take Pooh Paul in the second round. Bro, no, we should not. The Bills should not be taking a linebacker. He's not going to play. The highest he could probably get on the roster right now is linebacker 4. Why would you draft a guy, burn a year of his rookie deal, playing special teams?
Yep.
Doesn't make sense, right?
For all of our listeners, listen. I know how much time Whittle puts into this draft, right? It's unbelievable, right? And it's not even just the amount of time that Whittle puts in. It's the quality of the time that it is put into this. So, is everything going to be absolutely right, Whittle? No, but I think we take in, especially you take a lot of factors in. What are our real needs, right? And then also combining that with what are the tendencies of our GM too. These are things that we all got to take a look at, right? We always talk about who's a Billsy player, right? Like I was reading about Deion Walker. Deion Walker is like a captain of his team in college. Like he's got those leadership qualities. Those are kind of things that Bean looks for, right? So I put Deion Walker in the bucket. Maybe they don't take him high. I mean, he's still a guy that has raw talent, but yeah, I'm just giving him as one example, right? So we just don't throw names out there in the wind to create buzz and to get comments and to get people following our podcast. We want to do quality work, and I give most of the credit, if not all of it, to you in that case. And I couldn't agree more with Kevin here. I enjoy it thoroughly. All the work you do for the draft, and I want to give a shout out to a lot of people. Kevin, to you as well. I mean, the amount of knowledge you drop on us, and how you do it is great. Like, we appreciate you immensely, and there's so many. I mean, Jarek out there, he's tremendous, right? Jan Sports in our chat, just tremendous information. Love listening to him on our spaces and whatnot. And there's so many people we can mention. So I just wanted to put that out there, Whittle. That's what we're about. That's our DNA. And I think, and we hope that comes across to all of you.
Yeah, and again, like, I appreciate all of the kind words, guys. Like, thank you. I suck at taking compliments, but I do put effort into this. There's some things that I'm gonna do within the next few months to get even better at this. I believe in investing in things that you care about. I believe in investing and I believe in investing in things that you care about, and I also believe in being a continuous learner. So I don't go into situations thinking that I know everything. I go into situations hoping that I can learn something. But
Same.
just not to toot my own horn, but to kind of put a little bit of some of my hits on this draft. Like, when Bills fans were like, I don't know what linebacker we're gonna get, and I was like, this kid Dorian Williams from Tulane, he's kind of like that. Like, I like him a lot. Now, was I completely right? No, because he was much better in coverage when he was at Tulane. But is he a good player? Is he a solid player? Absolutely. And when we drafted him in the third round, a lot of Bills fans was like, never heard of this guy before. And I'm like, yeah, this is bro from Tulane. He's nice. He's like a miniature version, or he's like a smaller version of Tremaine Edmonds. Go look at the numbers. Go look at Dorian Williams' numbers. He makes a ton of tackles, doesn't get splash plays. You know who's like that? Tremaine Edmonds. Same thing. The thing that saved Tremaine Edmonds in coverage was the fact that Tremaine Edmonds was 6'5" with a ridiculous frame. Like, the dude's built like an alien. So that saved him because you cover more ground. Like, you've got two great safeties behind you, and you're 6'5" with long arms. It's kind of hard to throw the football over your head and not into the arms of the safeties behind you, another 7 to 10 yards. So, Puka Nacua, when a lot of people are saying the Bills need to get a receiver and they haven't taken one yet, and I'm like, you know what? There's still some guys left. There's this kid Puka Nacua out of BYU, not the greatest route runner, but he's a hands catcher. He's physical at the catch point. There's another kid from Georgia Tech, this kid named A.T. Perry, pretty skinny, but he can fly, and contested catch guy, athletic, will go up and get the football. He just got hurt. A.T. Perry's going to be – I thought A.T. Perry's going to be a good player. He just got hurt. When Christian Watson came out, I was like, yo, this kid from North Dakota State, dude can fly. He's a super athlete. I've seen him hurdle people. Like, I think he's going to come to the NFL and be a good player. Is he a good player? Yeah, he is. He's just hurt all the time. Tariq Woolen. Listen, a lot of people wasn't up on UTSA when I was. I got up on UTSA early. University of Texas, San Antonio, I've been on the road runners for a minute. They have legit NFL talent coming out of there every single year, whether it gets drafted or not. I've been beating the drum for Zachary Franklin for 2 years now. 2 years. And I think he's actually going to get drafted this year. And he's going to be a good player. Why? Because that's what the film says. He's going to have some injuries over the last couple of years. It is what it is. Zachary Franklin's going to be a good player. I told people about Tariq Woolen. Say, yo, it's this kid out of TSA, UTSA, 6'4", about 210 pounds. He can run. He can jump. He does that. He's the former wide receiver. I think he's going to be good. He ends up going, I think, in the 4th or 5th round to Seattle. First year, they're talking about him being right on the same level with Sauce Gardner. Obviously, his career's kind of fallen off a little bit because of some scheme changes with the coaching staff out there in Seattle. But under Mike McDonald now, who is the former Ravens head coach, I've been the former Ravens defensive coordinator. I expect Tariq Woolen to have a better year. Their pass rush has to get better out there, but he's going to have a better year.
Yep.
So yes, I have been right I've been right a few times. I've also been wrong. I thought that after we drafted Kyer, I thought that after that rookie year, Kyer was going to continue to improve. He did. I was wrong. Okay? I was wrong. Who else was I wrong about that I liked? Boogie Badger. That's probably the biggest one. I thought Boogie Badger was going to be a stud.
I thought he was going to be good too. I mean, I
was
didn't
going to
think
be
stud.
a stud.
Yeah.
He stinks. I mean, it didn't work out, and I can admit that. You know, I was wrong. I thought he was going to be much better than what he actually is. It is what it is. I was right about Troy Franklin, though. I was right about Troy Franklin last year.
That everybody you were.
Everybody was trying to force Troy Franklin down the Buffalo Bills' throat. And I told you guys, I don't trust Troy Franklin. What happened? 4th round pick, goes out to Denver, can't even crack the starting lineup. And they need wide receivers over there. It is what it is. Went over there and became the 4th or 5th wide receiver. He did score enough in the playoffs, but it is, what else did they do? Nothing. 31-7. Good night. So, yeah. But that, that's all I got, man. I appreciate. We got 239 people tuned in right now.
Yep.
A lot of y'all just came to hear me. A lot of y'all just came here to hear me rant. So I'm gonna give you what you want.
It's the best part of our podcast, Little. So we love it. So
yeah. So
listen, as we depart on this Wednesday evening, remember next week it's the night before, it's draft eve for our podcast. So should be a great one, Whittle. Not sure what we have planned yet, but maybe we could do a first round mock. Maybe we don't have to go over each player in detail for some of the teams. Maybe we could go. Just an idea I'm throwing out there. If you want to do one on PFF together, maybe we can get some consensuses from some of the people in the chat as well. Just wanted to get throwing out some ideas out there for our pre-draft spectacular next Wednesday. And one thing I do want to keep mentioning to everyone out there, please go to @DoChampions on Twitter, give us a follow, go right to the pinned tweet right at the top. There's a Christian Benford signed jersey giveaway that we're giving away Thursday, April 24th. You got to follow Do Champions on X, and you got to follow Do Champions on our YouTube channel. And then in addition, if you follow Do Champions on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or Threads, you get one additional entry to every person. Anytime you follow on there, you get another entry into that contest. So get in there, give us a follow on Do Champions. We would appreciate it. And you could cash in on a really great prize. And we may be having some more things. A lot of great content coming out from all of our creators here on Do Champions. But Whittle, that's what I had.
Okay. So I got a couple of things. Congratulations to the Miami Heat as they advance in the play-in tournament in hopes to grab the 8th seed.
You see my face?
In the NBA playoffs. Yeah, I saw it. But listen, hear me out here.
Okay, what you got?
Congratulations to the Miami Heat. They continue to play. They continue to live on. Their playoffs, their bid for the playoffs is still alive. And the closer they get to that, the further they get away from the number 1 pick in Cooper Flag. I want the Miami Heat to never be good again. That would be awesome.
I like your angle there. Okay, I see it.
There you go. See?
All right. Okay.
And before we go, just wanted to say, Whiskey Neat, trick or treat, the Celtics will repeat. Have a good night, everybody.
We'll see you around too, Whittle. And maybe we'll have a little friendly bet on the podcast if it's Knicks Celtics.
Oh
Which
yeah.
I want 2 or 3 to 1 odds on that, but we'll discuss that later.
Okay. All right. We'll talk. We'll talk. Definitely.
Definitely. So, again, just want to thank everybody in the group chat. Give a late shout out here to Bruce Smith, one of our favorites here. So, just want to put up Bruce on our screen as tradition here on our podcast. And thank you to everyone. You guys were awesome as always tonight. And again, next week, please join us the night before. It's going to be a great podcast. We're going to be a buzzing. We'll do look for some more mocks, sure to go wrong, that I'll put up there, and better mocks from Whittle coming out later.
I got some ideas, man. I got some ideas for next week, man.
Right.
We're gonna have some fun.
Absolutely. So, and
remember,
all of you out there, make it fun. Yes. What you got?
Tight ends and running backs next week. I'll do tight ends and running backs.
That's perfect timing because the James Cook stuff we'll get into next week too. We'll kind of get your temperature on that next week and see where
James Cook. Who's that? That's the guy that sold his house in Buffalo.
Oh, all right. There's a little teaser for next week. So, again, want to thank everyone for coming up here, rolling up with us as always. And it was a great show as always, Whittle. And that's all I got. Have a great evening, everyone. Go Bills.
Go Bills. And I was just kidding, James Cook. Please don't leave. Please resign with us.
We're okay if you stay. We're okay.
Yeah, please don't leave. Don't leave, James. We love you.